The Justin Fuente era at Virginia Tech off to a good start with an ACC championship game appearance and a bowl victory over Arkansas in dramatic comeback fashion. Let's catch up with Justin Cates from inside the ACC to help us out on the recruiting portion of that, which is, of course, the lifeblood of any football program. Justin, we appreciate you coming on with us.
Thanks for having me, Mark.
All right, so Virginia Tech, according to 247 Sports, 27 commits and signings. That would be 5 4 stars, 22 3 stars. Your thoughts about the class in regards to what you know about the personnel needs of the team and where this is all headed?
Well, the numbers are a little high on the higher end, of course, of what you're allowed to get in. And the Hokies need to build depth. That has shown itself to be the case over the last handful of seasons. Anyone that's followed this program knows 7 and 6 seasons are not the norm in Blacksburg, and a lot of that had to do with the lack of depth and the less positive recruiting results in a couple of cases, some misses, some maybe not getting the right numbers of guys and staggering the classes the right way. So certainly I think this is more of a numbers thing. Coach Fuente wants to get as many guys as he can in here and get competition going. And I think that this class has the ability to do that. Of course, you know, it's always kind of a crapshoot. We were joking beforehand about the way recruiting is. It's difficult and to put this in the long-term view all the time. But certainly I think just from pure number standpoint, this is a good start to what he wants to do long-term.
Yeah, and it's certainly a division that is very jumbled up in regards to quality teams, so not muddled as it was maybe 2 or 3 years ago with mediocrity, but teams rising like Miami. And, of course, Georgia Tech coming off another nice season, a couple years removed for the Orange Bowl. Virginia Tech able to rise to the top this particular season in 2016. North Carolina will continue to be a factor as well. So it's going to be difficult, a competition out there. Your thoughts about the class in regards to meeting the needs that it needs to meet, and in regards to Justin Fuente's approach, being a newcomer on the scene, this being his first full cycle of recruiting there in Blacksburg.
Yeah, I mean, it was an important class in that respect. Last year, he kind of just came on at the last minute and held things together, which is kind of the awkward part of a transition when it comes to coaching changes. And he did a good job of that. And this year was sort of about developing those relationships a little more in the high school ranks and filling things out. Of course, as the roster changes and you get some attrition, that's been a big part of it. And certainly, I think one of the biggest positional interested in things has been the running back point. No more Shy McKenzie. He's left the program. Marshawn Williams is not going to play anymore. He's had injury troubles. So certainly the Hokies, and of course Sam Rogers graduated, the Hokies are very, very thin in the backfield. So that's been one of the places that folks were curious about, and Tech didn't get its number one target at that position. That was Kalen Laybourne, who ended up at Florida State. But Jalen Holston is a guy that they're very excited about. And Terrius Wheatley is a guy that I'm very interested to see. He's technically listed as an athlete, but it looks like he'll get a good shot at running back. And of course, the son of Tyrone Wheatley, who's the assistant coach at Michigan a long time, Michigan star at running back. That'll be an interesting competition at the very least. And Wheatley also prepped at Fork Union Military Academy. The Hokies have a very good track record of getting guys from there to perform in Blacksburg. And of course, on the offensive side of the ball, Coach Fuente's forte, that's a mouthful. Wide receiver was an interesting thing. Of course, the Hokies were lost a number of very talented kids to the NFL draft. Bucky Hodges, the tight end / wide receiver, and Isaiah Ford, the big one there. So building depth at those two positions in particular is going to be interesting, and to see what the battle shakes out like in the spring.
Justin, how do Hokie fans feel about not just this recruiting class with the 27 signings, but also kind of the combination of this class as it relates to the football season we just witnessed, the personnel losses, and then projecting forward to 2017, and just the general vibe of where Justin Fuente is taking this program?
I think people by and large are very pleased. There's been an infusion of energy, and that was very apparent right away. I think everyone was pleasantly surprised with 10 wins. I don't think anyone would have expected anything really approaching that. And certainly to go toe to toe with Clemson and make things interesting at the very least. That's quite an accomplishment. So I think there's a lot of positive energy, a lot of good momentum around the program, and people are generally happy. So of course the recruiting is a good way to keep that rolling along. And this class looks like the kind of group that'll be able to do that. Certainly from a PR standpoint. And one thing that people are very excited about, there's some big guys from Virginia who actually are going to stay home. That's been an issue in recent years. Of course, as recruiting has gotten more national, that's been a thing. Big time programs know that there's a lot of talent in Virginia, and they've started to be big competition for the Hokies. And you see that within the conference as well.
I'm seeing 6 players ranked in the top 10 at their positions nationally, which is definitely a good sign, because while the recruiting rankings certainly miss many times when it comes to individual players, they seem to bear out when it comes to the overall group of classes, because all you need to do is look at those top 5 or 10 classes year to year across the country, and those are the 5 or 10 teams that are typically competing for national championships. Virginia Tech with 27 signings in Justin Fuente's first full cycle there of recruiting there at Virginia Tech. Justin Cates from Inside the ACC, please join us there. We certainly post a number of videos, as well as Justin's writing along with Mike McDaniel and a host of others. Justin, we appreciate the time.
Thank you, Mark.